6 places more mysterious than the Bermuda Triangle. Lake andjakuni. Have you ever heard the story of a whole village that disappeared mysteriously, not to be found ever again? Located in the northernmost territory of Canada, Lake andjakuni is said to have been the home to a small Inuit village for many years. The villagers were known to be friendly and always welcome travelers, providing shelter at night. Joe LaBelle, a Canadian fur trapper, was passing through the lake in 1930, but he could only hear his own footsteps. He was searching for a place for shelter, which he found, but that's all. An eerie silence occupied the entire village. Joe noticed a burning fire, a house stocked with food and weapons, and unfinished clothes with needles attached. He examined the whole village and found no new traces in the snow apart from his own. And the worst part was that all the dogs were starved until they passed away. According to some, a luminous flying object was seen going toward the village, but nobody knows what really happened, and their disappearance is still a mystery. Bennington Triangle. The lesser-known cousin of the Bermuda Triangle is infamous for strange disappearances, and nobody knows the reason behind it. The first disappearance happened in 1945. A 74-year-old local hunting guide, Mitty Rivers, was leading a group of hunters when he suddenly got lost. The next victim of this spooky Bennington Triangle was Paula Weldon, an 18-year-old student who went on a hike and never came back. 3 years later, a 68-year-old man named James E. Tedford boarded a bus to Bennington after visiting relatives in St. Albans, Vermont. 2 more disappearances followed, one of 8-year-old Paul Jepson, who vanished without a trace when his mom left him unattended. Another one was 53-year-old Frida Langer. He was an experienced hiker but went missing forever. Since then, other disappearances and strange occurrences have cemented the triangle's paranormal intrigue. Lake Superior. The world's largest freshwater lake is home to numerous mysterious disappearances, with a lot of strange things going in and around it. The lake experiences frequent storms, causing waves over 20 feet tall, earning it a reputation as a graveyard for wayward vessels. One of the most famous ghost ships of Lake Superior is the Bennington, which suddenly vanished into thin air after setting sail from Thunder Bay. Another spooky incident took place in 1918 when 2 battleships encountered a blizzard which saw winds of 50 miles per hour, and they never resurfaced on the other side. None of the 78 crew members ever resurfaced, supporting the legend that Lake Superior seldom gives up her deceased. Among other shipwrecks, this one had the largest number of demises. One of the greatest mysteries of the lake is the disappearance of a military jet. In 1953, an experienced pilot went missing. An Air Force radar controller was alerted to an unusual target flying in restricted airspace over Superior. Controllers watched the 2 blips come together and merge on the screen over the lake, and then the plane's identification signal disappeared. Highway of Tears. This is a 725-kilometer stretch of Yellowhead Highway in British Columbia and has earned a sinister title because of unexplainable disappearances. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police, RCMP, opened an investigation surrounding 9 women and girls who had gone missing along the stretch. The authorities linked 18 cases, but many more were identified later, and community activists and victims' families placed the total closer to 50. There are many reasons cited for the disappearances. For instance, the remoteness of the highway, poverty of the region, inadequate police action, and apartheid. This, coupled with the soft soil and abundance of carnivorous scavengers, has made the Highway of Tears a popular spot to make a person simply disappear. The first body of Gloria Moody was found in 1969. A 26-year-old mother of 2. Over the next almost 40 years, 17 other women became victims along the highway. The last was 14-year-old Mackie of the Haidley-Tena First Nations community, near Prince George. The Superstition Mountains. The Lost Dutchman's gold mine is one of the most famous mysteries in the United States, and many believe that it is hidden somewhere in these aptly named mountains. Jesse Capon was obsessed with the legendary Dutchman gold mine and was convinced he could locate the treasure hidden deep in the Superstition Mountains. Sadly, the 35-year-old became another target of the fables when he disappeared in 2009, and nobody knows how. Another target was Dr. Adolf Ruth, who set out on a 2-week voyage to find the treasure in 1931. However, he never came back. Almost 6 months later, the search party found a human skull with 2 holes from a .44 caliber. The rest of his remains, some personal items, and a fully loaded piece were discovered in January 1932, about 3/4 of a mile away from where his skull was discovered. Since then, people have been disappearing off the face of the earth while trying to find the riches of a deceased man. The path paved in mystery and doom and has taken almost the lives of 600 people who tried to locate the treasure. Nevada Triangle. Almost 2,000 aircraft have vanished within a 25,000 square mile area known as the Nevada Triangle. Lying in a region of the Sierra Nevada mountains in Nevada and California, the number of planes the triangle has claimed over 60 years is unsettling. One of the most famous victims of this lethal triangle was an adventurous pilot, Steve Fawcett. On September 3, 2007, the pilot took off in his Super Decathlon from a small Nevada airstrip and seemingly vanished into thin air. An rescue operation began and continued for weeks, but Fawcett was nowhere to be found until a year later when a hiker found his ID card. The investigation found no mechanical problem in the aircraft. Then what happened on that fateful day? And why have so many other aircraft disappeared in the same area, never to be found? Many pilots suggest it is because of the mountain wave, a phenomenon that occurs when a strong wind hits steep mountains, creating turbulence and potentially damaging the airplane.